Hello guys, welcome to the next episode of Late Friday Night's Banter Blitz. I'm International Master Andrey Ostrovskiy and I'm here to help you learn something new about chess. That is my main goal. Sorry for somewhat delayed start. As usual, I wanted to start with several games against challengers I've never ever played before, but since we have not so many challenges, I'm going to play one by one. So let us start. And as usual, I want you to actually let me know if everything is all right with the stream. Stream sounds great here, says 206. Okay, I didn't even finish the question and the answer just came. Nice. Total harmony. Okay. Let me start the game against the first challenger. Here is Fuchs Rudel this time. Accept. And I'm playing with black pieces. By the way, I should say that I'm in a very bad shape. So I'm very tired. So you have great chances to beat me this time. But try hard, because I will do my best to survive. Coordination of the audience, says 206. Yes, something like that. Okay, I have a feeling that queen b6 deserves attention here. Attacking b2, now c4. One of the main lines here. And now two options, to go back to c2 or to take on b6. Okay, queen goes back to c2, which means I have bishop f5. Queen is forced to c1. And I'm usually struggling here because I don't really know what is the optimal order of moves for black. In this game I will start with the e6 move, just preparing the development of the dark squared bishop. But maybe it's already not the most ambitious. And what I usually do here, I put the rook on c8, just to be better prepared for, say, white's b3 move, because it is one of typical things to do within this pawn structure. So h6 should be also a useful inclusion, just to prepare bishop h7. Now bishop e7 and castles. And then what? Then probably something connected to b7, b5, if I have the time, of course. Would be nice to be able to do something like that. But queen should obviously go away. Here, after 95, I'm not sure to take or not to take. Let's try just capturing the knight here. Because if pawn takes, I'm not sure it is that great for white, especially for white's bishop f4. If bishop takes, at some point I may have a sort of tempo connected with knight to d7 move. But for now, I want to focus on my b5, b4 play. So let's play queen c6. That is what I wanted to do, to go away with the queen. Then b5, b4, something like that. Andrey question, what is your personal summary of 17-18's chess season? If I mean my own games, I was not successful, so I dropped some rating points. If you want to know what I think about this season in general, then it's hard to say. Too many different events. Too many things to take into account. Hard to say, in other words. Alright, now b3. To play b5 or just to take on b3, weakening c3. I mean, b3 is a weakening of the c3, so cb3, get into c3. Making it something that is under pressure. Let's try it. I'm not sure. ab3, now a7 is under attack, so probably immediate capture on c3 is not that great. On the other hand, after queen c3, rook c3, rook a7, I have rook c2. Then rook takes b7, attacking my bishop e7, but rook d2, rook e7, rook e2. Looks like I have extra material there, so let's take. Crowning student says your personal issue seems to be pulling you back. Absolutely correct. Rook takes c3. Rook a7 and rook c2. That's what I wanted to play here. And the point is that knight is hanging. If knight goes away, I take the bishop. If rook d1, then bishop b4. So white's calculation was not deep enough here, I guess, when he made a decision on playing b3. And now I just capture here, right? Extra minor piece, maybe some technical problems with the conversion, but white has only one pawn as a material compensation, so I don't believe there will be a chance for white to survive it, but I have to be careful, obviously. First of all, where to put this bishop? I'm tempted to, I don't know, c3 or a3. Which one? Let's put it on a3. Rook a. In German, bishop b1. Good looking bishops. I mean, they don't really attack anything, but they control important squares on the other hand. And now it's time for me to attack something, I guess. So knight to e4 looks very good. Attacking f2, right? Oh, maybe it was... No, it's okay, because at the same time I control d6 square. So preventing bishop to d6. Artur Navrovsky says, rating points, who cares? In fact, I don't really care about rating points, but dropping rating points actually shows what happened to me this season. So I didn't really achieve any of my goals. My main goal is, of course, to get closer to GM title. So it doesn't work for now. Rook takes e3. So now I have simply extra minor piece. Don't think white has even a single chance to survive it. There is always next season, Andrey says Elbing. That's correct. That's nice. That we always have a next season. Bishop d4 attacks too many things in white's camp. Rook a7, knight e5, and there is also a threat of discovered check after that. So it should be just decisive advantage for black now. Knight to d7, attacking my rook. Is there just a checkmate? Rook e1, king h2, bishop... Yeah, e5 is impossible, unfortunately. Would be nice. Rook e2 is also an interesting move. Or rook g3 even. King f1, bishop d3. Rook takes b3. Well, everything wins here, of course. I'm just curious if there is a checkmate or something. Alright, let's try this. Rook g3, check. One more check. Takes here. Check. And checkmate next move. That's what was planned. Okay, nice. So b3 was a mistake. So position was playable, of course, but after b3, cb3, I managed to win a pawn. Because after queen c3 appears that this line doesn't work after rook c2. So if white starts with the rook b7, it's, in my opinion, the same. I just take on d2. Now bishop is hanging, if rook e7, rook e2. If bishop goes away, I go away with my bishop. So that's the point. Instead of playing b3, it was interesting to think of getting more aggressive on the king side, probably. So something connected to pushing pawns there. Maybe just g4 right now. Maybe something like rook to e1, then bishop to f3 or bishop to f1. Maybe then f3, and, well, gradually preparing this e4 move. I will also play here on the queen side, so I will be quite aggressive, quite active there. b5, a5, b4, maybe taking on c3. But it takes a lot of time to create a weakness there and to start attacking it. So white will have the time, I think, to come up with the counterplay in the center. Maybe knight e5 is already not that cool. So if you want to play b3, probably it makes sense to think of it right here. So like b3 here looks interesting. I don't think black has a refutation of that. Maybe I have some ideas connected with cb3 and then knight b4, attacking scores like d3 and c2, but it's never that clear. So I think it deserved attention also to try b3 here at this very moment. All right, thank you for the game. Next challenger is already shelling for it. And I predict just a cruel beating of me. Because as I said before, I'm in a very bad shape, and Lucas is a very strong player. So, will be hard. Waiting patiently for the first move. All right. Oh, wow. I didn't want to play that. I mean, e6 was intended. My goodness. That's really bad. Because I have no idea what to do here. I'm not sure if it is even playable. Like, yeah, this is annoying. Annoying stuff. I didn't want to play it. All right, so we're pawn down. We are pawn down now. I've got no idea what to do here. Let's just undermine the pawn. I don't see any other clear way to bring my knights back to the game. So here at least I attack e5. Takes here, I just take with the knight back, attacking the queen. And my knight is heading towards e4 square. Maybe it will give me some counterplay. So f-file is also open, so maybe my rook is going to occupy f8 square very soon will be useful. So to play knight e4 or not to play knight e4? I don't know, but it feels like without knight e4, intending to damage the pawn structure there, I will have no compensation whatsoever. So let's try it. What is really interesting is that I actually updated the battery in my mouth prior to playing tonight's banter. That is what happens when you prepare carefully for your show. Your optical manipulator betrays you at the very important moment. Crap. Hate it. Okay. D6. Let's take this guy. Is there anything like compensation? I doubt it. Doesn't feel like something like that. Simply pawn down. Alright, so how to survive it? How to try to survive it? Let's play some active looking moves. Okay, so heavy pieces ending, which probably supplies me with some chances. So the king on e2 is not necessarily that safe. It's probably not bad, but it's also not that safe. So if I manage to double my rooks on the f file quickly, and I don't see how white is going to prevent me from doing that, I may create some threats to f2, maybe forcing it to f3, where after attacking g2 may become something interesting for black. But first let's attack g2. Maybe I can attack g2 right now. Like, what about this move? g2 is under pressure. If g3, then it will be complicated for white to play f3. There will be also queen g4 check. So and I suppose that queen g2 is a real threat. Even though the g file becomes open, well, f2 will be under pressure, and a serious one. So the time on the clock, both sides have 2 minutes, white slightly less than that, but still. Position is getting complicated. Now queen h5 is possible if I want. Take an h2, but that's probably not that important for now. I guess rook f7 is more important to cover 7th rank and to bring another rook to the game. But if rook goes to d5 or something, then queen h5 starts looking very attractive. Because in that very case, I may take on h2 with the tempo. So it doesn't feel very pleasant for white anymore. This well may be some sort of compensation I'm searching for. Okay, now I think I have to include this. I'm not entirely sure it is very good, but I don't see any other move to force some weakening of the king. Okay, another rook to f8 was also a good alternative. Now this check looks nice. And now the question, to take on h2 leads to rook h1, rook f4, ef4, queen f4. This is bad for black, I suppose. So what to do instead? Maybe to add another rook now. So concentrating all the pieces on the king's side, maybe intending sort of sacrifice on f4 at some point. G5 may look crazy, but probably playable. And by the way, there are some ideas like queen h4. Queen h4 is probably the most decent move. Can I take on h2 now? That's an interesting question. So taking on h2, queen takes c4, rook f4, I think I'm fine there. Rook h1, rook f4, e f4, then rook takes f4, king e3, queen g3, queen goes to d2, rook f2 at least. This looks very, you know, promising, so I have to try it. Okay, let's take here. First, let's check what about queen f4. Queen f4, if king goes to e2, there is checkmate, but king can go to e1. Then queen g3, forcing the king to the second rank. Rook f2 takes, so looks like a possibility. But the king can also go to g1. Have no idea. Let's take with the rook. Aha, king goes here. That is something I didn't expect. That is something I didn't expect. Is it really playable? Wow, h7 is hitting. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a killer, I guess. This is a killer. Oh. Oh, this is check. Shit. Yeah, I lost. Oh my god, I was so close. I mean, I didn't even expect that king d4 is possible. So probably e3 was my mistake. Or maybe even rook takes f4 was a mistake, so I should have captured with the queen here. I should have captured with the queen on f4, and then after king e2 it's just a checkmate in 1. After king e1 I have queen g3, and then rook f2, rook takes c2. That is what I wanted to achieve after all. So I have several pawns, so I think I shouldn't be worse with the queen for sure. But after king g1, okay, I think black doesn't have anything decisive, but at least there is a perpetual after queen e3, king h2, and queen h6, right? I mean, at very least, maybe black has something more, but I don't think so. But at least there is just a draw. So I saw that line, by the way, but I didn't expect that king can go to the center. That was interesting. So queen here, king d4. Is there something better than what I did? Because after e3 and king c5, I think it's lost for black for sure. So something like c5, king c5, rook f5, then rook d5. No, I don't think it works. Wow, interesting. Interesting. It requires additional analysis. I have no idea. What is this? I mean, something like c5 looks definitely very interesting. So king takes c5, queen goes to e3. Now, then king b4. I lack some coordination here. But maybe again, something like a draw should exist. Don't know. I give up. So, no. It was much better to take with the queen, obviously. Obviously, it was much better to take with the queen to avoid all these complications. And probably queen h4 was the best move here. I mean, after that, I can take... No. In fact, here after something like king e2, if I take on h2, there is the thing that I wanted to avoid. It is exactly queen takes c4. Yeah, I didn't want to play this position. That's why I played queen takes h2 immediately. And immediate capture on f4 probably doesn't work at all, because it doesn't give me any follow-up. Yeah, queen h2 was fine. But then after rook h1, rook takes f4, and queen takes f4. And this is a draw, which is not a bad result after, you know, you were pawned down right from the start. So e5, you should have understood that. I didn't want to play e5. I usually play e6, and of course e5 was just a mouse misclick. All right, thanks for the game anyway. Next one, accept. Black pieces. d4, knight f6. I never ever play this. I mean, e5. Okay. Advantages and disadvantages of playing online chess. On the other hand, the game was quite funny. b3. Crowning student says, I feel Andrey gives too much respect to Schelling, or doesn't approach games with him with optimism. Well, actually, for like 4 or 5 or 6 last games, everything was fine. I mean, with the approach. So here, there was just a disaster right from the e5 moment. And then I miscalculated the thing, so this happens. This happens. Nothing special. Knight to d3. What to do here? There are different ways to play this position. I think I can even try bishop a6 here, attack and c4 simply. Andrey Ostrovskiy says psychology. Well, after all, Schelling is just a strong player, right? I mean, I would have played absolutely different chess if we imagine I would have played without commenting it simultaneously, like making the show for you. It would be a different, absolutely different chess, different speed to start with, and different level of concentration, because when I play games like this during Banter Blitz shows, of course, I'm more focused on what I'm talking about than on the chess side of the story. So, absolutely no surprises that strong players like Lucas beat me within this format. All right, bishop b2. I have a feeling that black no longer has even a tiny problem here. But the thing is, what plan to choose, how to play this correctly. d4 looks slightly bad in white's camp, but if I play knight b8, knight c6, there is always knight e5 immediately after my knight goes to b8. So maybe I can try this way of improvement. So bishop d6, then queen e7. So like this. And now even bishop to a3. Although this bishop is not very active, but it is a good defender of dark squares on the queen's side. So maybe it will be not that terrible idea for me to exchange it. To bring the queen to a3 to exert some additional pressure on a2. Alright, position should be more or less equal still. I don't think I have anything specific here. So how to play for a win here? C4 G5 asks Andrey, have you ever played G5? No. So I have to restart. I have to restart the stream, I believe, because people say there are problems. That's really annoying. I'll try to fix them after this game and come back. There may be also a situation in which these problems are permanent, unfortunately. Everything was fine actually at the beginning, but for now I think we'll have serious problems till the rest of the show, but who knows, maybe. I overestimate the reason of these problems, but I have a bad feeling. I have only 20 seconds left. Okay, position is lost. Anyway. But I'm in time probably to make a draw, right? Yeah, I made a draw. So, let's have a look what is going on to the stream. I think it should be back now, right? It should be back now. But there is a big question if this sort of quality, which is very questionable for now, will stay with us till the end of the show. But for now, on my end, it shows that the situation is more or less stable, which means we can probably continue, right? Dungy says stream is back. Twahuzek says it's back for me right now. Alright, so let's try to continue. We will see how this will work. Sorry for these technical issues. That's definitely my internet connection. And for now, I have no solution I have no solution. I'll think about it. Maybe I will come up with some fixes, but well, from time to time it just happens. Okay, as for this game, I was completely not focused. At some point, my opponent just outplayed me after knight takes d5. I completely missed this move. So here, a6 was a serious mistake. I should have played something else. Now going away with the rook from the c file. But in that case, white occupies the c file and probably has the edge at very least. Although the pawn structure is bad, but everything else is fine. Maybe I should have played something really tricky like king h8, in which case there is no knight f6, which means knight takes d5 no longer works because of rook c2, and taking on d5. That was a nice prophylaxis. But anyway, I think what was better after knight b5, let's say, simply occupying the c file, attacking a7 already. This could have been very annoying potentially, so after a6. But maybe there is nothing to attack. In fact, b6 is protected. So if knight goes to c7, I have rook c8 pinning the knight. If knight goes to d6, I'm not sure what white is doing in general. So now I can gradually improve my position. What is nice here, this bishop is out of play for a long time, maybe forever, which gives me some chances. Okay, that was probably good. But of course, after I blundered the pawn, that was very important pawn, because now without d5, in fact, this bishop is great, and there is a direct access to my weaknesses, so this position is obviously lost. But then at some point, my opponent started playing not very convincingly. For example, here after bishop c4, I should have played knight to d1 instead of knight to e4, because now I create a sort of a checkmate on f2. And I must say position is no longer that clear. So probably white has to sacrifice that f2 pawn somehow to get chances to win. But I'm not sure that this position is that great. So takes f2, king goes to e5. Yeah, maybe white still has great chances to win because of this connected passers and the bishop, after all, and the great activity of the king. But I have a chance to collect a lot of pawns. So that's the thing. So that was a miracle. I mean, in a mutual time trouble, I was not punished. So here, of course, instead of playing g4, just bishop f5, I thought would finish the game. Most likely not the only move. So rook takes f5, king f5. I mean, this is a typical pattern. Should be winning for white. So to king d4, let's say. I have a feeling that white is just winning here. Yeah, that's a sacrifice, but should be decisive. But okay, I believe there is also a way not to sacrifice anything. So g4, after all, was good enough. Okay, so g4. Instead of rook f8, I mean, bishop f5 here immediately was just the most convincing thing, I would say. It's just absolutely winning position. No counterplay whatsoever. Yeah, but after rook f8 and king here, well, maybe it's no longer that clear, but still should be winning. Bishop f5, king g5. Yeah, somewhere here white started playing not very good moves, so at some point just starting pushing this a pawn was good. Just a4 here, let's say, why not? Okay, there is g6 threat, right? Yeah, there is g6 threat, so maybe something like rook to a8 protecting it. Okay, but this is all sort of unnecessary complications. So bishop takes f5 here, rook f5, and king e4, decisive advantage. All right, let's continue. The next is Peter Koller. Accept. So the stream is still here, right? Stream is still here. That's nice. Everything is wrong with today's episode. I'm in a bad shape. I played e5 against Lucas instead of e6. The stream is like jumping back and forth. Question from X: will there be Learn from Chess Blitz in the near future? I guess no. So, as I said before, at the moment I have other priorities, unfortunately. But at some point I will try to come back to a similar show. Alright, h3 instead of c3, giving me a chance if I wanted to grab the light square bishop. Let's try it. Because it is a Spanish bishop after all. Whenever you see a possibility to grab it, you should do it. Especially here when white doesn't actually attack in the center. Yet, I think it was a great moment to try this idea. Right, maybe now I will have like pair of bishops. No, white decided to go away with the bishop to h4. On the other hand, I can exchange the dark squared bishops, so to play knight h5 now looks quite interesting. But then knight takes e5, something like that should be considered. Bishop takes h4, queen h5, d takes e5 looks like an extra minor piece. But knight h5, knight takes e5, bishop takes h4, knight to c6, then queen g5, protecting the knight on h5. Okay, I think it's playable, it's possible. Bishop takes e7, queen e7. Now, if knight e5, I just take with the queen. Otherwise, I put my knight on f4. Looks like a very pleasant position for black now. So f5 is interesting, continuation of the pressure, so to try to open up the f file. Simply taking on h3 may be considered, but I don't think it's enough. Let's try this move. It's sort of very natural follow-up. I mean, I want to connect the rook to the potential attack. F takes e4, d takes e4, maybe then just taking on h3 with the bishop, pawn takes, knight takes, king somewhere. Still doesn't feel like a good moment for that sort of combination. Maybe it's okay to, well, prepare it better. Just concentrating pieces along the f file first of all. Alright, this sort of exchange is probably good for black because now there is knight takes h3. And d3 is hanging as well. There may be a threat of just playing queen g6 as well, attacking g2 and h3 simultaneously. But still, rook e3, in my opinion, meets both threats. Yeah, rook e3. Now, what to do? I should add additional resources. So let's play rook f7. Intended to put the rook on f8 at some point. I mean, rook a8 to f8. X. Can the old guy make a new photo with the young guy again? Yeah, I was thinking about it. Because that previous one is already out of date. So the things are changing rapidly. Yeah, probably in the nearest future we'll do this. Maybe it will make sense next Tuesday, right? Prior to Training Tuesday for premium members of Chess24. It will be dedicated to what? To evaluation of the positions. So the idea came from Kramnik student there will be a positional quiz. Okay, now it seems queen g6 works. Attacking g2. On the other hand, there is knight e1, super passive but solid. After knight h4, I have queen g5. So with the queen on d1, there could have been queen g4 move. That's why I didn't play queen g6 immediately. But with the queen on d2 already, there is no such an option. And white is in trouble hands. So knight is hanging, knight cannot move because I take on g2, and if g3, I take on h3, which check, and f2 drops as well. All right. Yeah. Surprising finish of the game, so quite quickly position looked very solid, but well, queen d2 is a mistake. Well, it's inaccuracy because after queen g6 you have to play something very passive like knight to e1, but knight to h4 is a real mistake, so knight to e1 was still playable. I'm not sure that black has a chance to break through quickly here. Still will take a lot of time to achieve anything. And in general, of course, it's better to avoid giving me so easy access to the bishop. But if you already did this inaccuracy, then just play d4. Play in a more aggressive way. I mean, d4 even here. I mean, much more challenging than just c3 and so forth. So d4... yeah, deserved attention. But in general, well, instead of playing h3, just play c3 first. And now if knight a5, then bishop to c2. Okay. Maxim Stevanovic, international master. So another painful defeat is coming, or no? Let's try to fight. Let's try to fight. Let's try to survive it. Aha, d4. It's a very old line, I suppose. Nowadays people play knight f6 or bishop g4. This d4 is probably also absolutely playable for black. But I believe I will have sort of pleasant setup. When I put the bishop on c4 or something, should be okay, I think, for white. I don't know. We will see. Let's put the bishop on c4 first. e6, all right. So, would be nice to sacrifice the queen, but there is no chance. Knight e5 doesn't work. Bishop b5 check, maybe knight d7, but this also doesn't work. Okay, let's forget about that. Let's try something like c3 here, undermining d4. And also potentially activating the queen. Here, for example, I wanted to try queen to b3 move. Attacking b7 and unpinning my knight f3. Does it make any sense? Don't know. Don't know. Queen to b6. So what if I just take on d4 now? Probably cd4 again. I have nothing. But let's try. Maybe black will take on f3 first. In which case I will have pair of bishops. or something. Obviously, my pair of bishops is probably absolutely not important here. Too bad pawn structure. Too vulnerable. Okay, let's protect c2 square. Oh, Shellenforth says knight g5 with f3 was interesting instead of cd4. Yes, you're probably right. Absolutely. Knight takes f3, so materialistic. I expected something like b5, but okay. This should be also alright for black. Now I think I have to make this check just to try to worsen black's coordination here, potentially. But now what? Now what? Bishop e2, bishop takes h5 to pretend we are also quite materialistic guys. There is knight b3 threat. There is knight to b3 threat. And although this pawn is ugly, it's a very important one. Oh, I have no idea. I'm so bad tonight. I'm so bad. Playing like a piece of crap. Okay, let's try to survive it. Probably it will be very, very hard. But black is not developed yet, so maybe I will have some chances. But I have to play faster, for sure. Have to do something with this knight on d4. It's very, very strong guy. But anyway, position is just very bad for white. So just a pawn down without much compensation. There's simply no compensation, in fact. There's simply no compensation. Just a slight pressure on b6. Maybe an idea of playing d4 at some point. Still hard. Okay, what to do now? Probably just waiting. I don't see anything better than just waiting here. So if rook h3, then rook f1. what is this? Knight gets to c5, or what's the point? Oh, rook takes f3. Very simple. All right, resign. Yeah, very bad game. And as Lucas correctly pointed, in fact, after queen b3 and queen b6, knight g5 was interesting. Yeah, knight g5 was a very decent move, with the idea of f3. But I didn't even see that. I didn't even consider something like that, because I'm just blind. I'm playing random moves without much planning this time. Sorry for that, guys. The quality is really very, very low tonight. Yeah, I don't see a clear defense against f3. I mean, something like f6 will lead to serious weakening of the e6 square. Knight e5 is always like bishop b5. Yeah, position all of a sudden becomes very complicated for black. Yeah. All right. Next one, Cobra. Accept. Random stuff. I'm almost sleeping. Not because of what black is doing here in this particular game, but in general. I'm just, yeah, very, very tired. So I suppose that we'll have something like 30 minutes more. Not more than 30 minutes. And we'll finish with that. Okay, so what do we have here is something like Philidor, maybe, or reversed. Some lines of Philidor, very, very similar to that, but not exactly like that, obviously. So let's try to exploit some weakening of light squares. Oh, this is very generous. So bishop d5 was okay for black for sure. Now I'm getting some material. And this allows bishop g5. Knight d7 is what I expected. Yeah, in the previous game I should have protected the bishop. With rook f1 move, it was the only chance for me, in fact. Black still had a chance to improve the position with moving the king to c7, protecting b6, and then the knight becomes free. So gradually it should be a winning for black, of course. But still, it was a test in defense. e5 was just so bad. After c4, I think it's over. Yeah, c4 in the previous game was very good resource. Queen d7. I think I don't have a reason to resist. So let's just take. And now what? Now let's centralize the pieces. Rook to d1 first. Now say bishop e3. And now it's a question. So how to protect a2? Still believe that b3 is better than a3. Okay, next week I will be much better prepared. I will be fresh and I will... I wanted to say something really harsh, but will not. So instead of that, I would say that next week I will try to play much better chess against each and every one. I mean, okay. Oh. I didn't see that it was Henin. But you understand, right? You've already understood the situation. What is happening here tonight? Okay, bishop d2, d4, bishop takes a7. Let's take the pawn. Rook to c1, bishop to d2. I'm not winning anything with that. Let's just take this. And this. Bishop c5, d4, fortunately. So it's not the next blunder. But the position became very hard to win. I mean, I spoiled everything with this blunder of c3. Shellenfor says, gonna prep hard for your new love, the Budapest. It was accidental. I wanted to play e6. Misclicked. But by the way, I'm really happy that I played e5 in that game because the game proved to be very interesting after that. Now it's important not to blunder this rook e2 and rook d1 after g5 or something like that. Because I'm really in the mood to do something like this blunder. What happened? King g7 was played. Okay, now d5 looks great. Dungy, yes, you did. You missed the Budapest. Was not intended, but yeah, it happened. D4 is coming, right? All right. So was absolutely lucky win here. So knight g5. I mean, even this position is okay for black. Although I don't think that this f5 was really important to place at so early stage. I would have preferred something connected to the development. But even this was okay, I believe. So bishop d5, just play this move. And after bishop d5, queen d5, feels like black is controlling everything important, and black should be even slightly better because of this weakness on d3. And if c4, then bishop takes g2. So absolutely playable normal position for black here. And now I think, in fact, after queen d5, I have queen b3. Slightly simplifying the things because b7 is hanging now, queen is pinned. Knight e6 is probably a threat. But okay, even after capturing, and most likely doing something like rook e8, protecting e6, preventing knight to e6, black should be more than fine here, I believe. Maybe rook d8 is also an interesting thing, so why should we protect e6 if we can play this attack in d3? Also interesting idea. Absolutely valid, I think. Okay. Let us continue. Blitz enemy is the next. Maybe the last game, maybe one of two last games. Let's try to beat Blitz enemy. Kremlin student says, "Buy all tired." Oh. I would be happy to follow. But I still have to beat some guys. So Blitz enemy is not going to play, I think. So let's play the next one. Next one is CP or just CIBH. Don't know. Okay. C4, Queen C7. Very strange play by black, but I'm trying to make my opponent nervous. That's the main intention, because obviously black is doing something wrong here, allowing effortless centralization. King h1 was played, okay. So now, what to do? Let's try this typical psycho attack, like h5, knight g4. Maybe g5 at some point. We'll see. It feels like situation with the stream is still stable. That's fine. At least that problem went away. f3. Okay, one of possibilities. Let's continue the development. Continue the attack. h4, knight h5, knight g3. Or maybe something connected to g5 at some point. Alright, f4. This weekend z4. Can we use that? Let's put the bishop on c6 and c, if we can. Bishop to f3. Okay, very solid. Now e5. No, too much. Maybe knight d7 first with the idea of bishop f6. This may be interesting, so let's do it. Maybe then this knight will go to c5, I don't know. Queen g7, bishop f6. Looks good for black. And this doesn't stop me from playing bishop f6, in fact. Because d6 is not hanging. The knight on c3 is that guy who betrays this queen d6 idea. So queen has to go to d3 or d2. And this move gives me a chance to play knight c5 or queen a5, attacking the knight. But after knight c5, let's say, bishop c5, dc5, there's e5 follow-up, which is not very good for me, I believe. What about starting with the h3, forcing something like g3, weakening this diagonal additionally, and then deciding what to do next? Let's do it. So, how to attack all these weaknesses? Vulnerabilities, I would say. They're not weaknesses, I believe. So, e4, f3, king h1, knight c3. Taking on c3, queen c3 doesn't give me anything because e4 is overprotected. As I said before, knight c5, bishop c5, dc5, e5 looks unclear because then knight goes to e4. Well, in fact, it looks clear. Absolutely, white is better. So maybe queen a5 after all this. Or maybe castling long. Castling long is also interesting stuff. But then knight d5 will be played. So let's play queen a5, attacking the knight. And bishop d4. This looks like an opportunity for black. So the knight on c3 is still hanging. And I wanted to try e5 here because of that. So queen cannot take on d6. Queen there. Yeah. Why not? Queen e3. Position is complicated. But I believe white is doing very well. After all this strange maneuvers from black, white is doing fine. E5 was played. Oh. Yep. White is better here. White is better. I don't know, let's go to d4. At least looks like an opportunity. Looks like a good square for the knight. Uh-huh. But that was a blunder. That was a blunder. No, I think it will be the last game, because it's really irritating. I'm blundering in each and every game. Not because I'm a stupid player, but because it's just a very bad day for me. And hence, it looks very natural to finish this suffering. And I believe it is a mutual suffering, not only for me, but also for viewers. Okay, what to do here? Where's my play? I don't even have a counter play, oh my god. Okay, I won on time, but this is just a complete disaster. Dungy says, no, we're not suffering, we're enjoying this. Really? Really? I don't know. It's very, questionable how the one can enjoy this crap, because, blunder after blunder, I mean, from my side, as I see it, it's just a, collection of stupid blunders this time. In any case, thank you for being patient. Sorry for technical problems. Sorry for my shape this time. As I promised, next week, I will be much better prepared and in much better shape. And I will try to do something with tech, because it is not, the exception that late Friday night's Banter Blitz shows seeing these technical issues. It's almost every Friday that it happens, like something like that. It's really annoying even to me, and I can imagine how is that to actually lose the stream and to make a guess if it will be back or not. All right. Anyway, wish you all guys a great weekend. Yeah, watch football, play chess, and premium members, see you next Tuesday. Bye bye.